The streetlights had long stopped running alongside the road. The glimmering light of the full moon and single headlight of my motorcycle are the only things that light the road through the thick brush of trees surrounding the blackened road we were traveling. Lily wraps her arms around my chest as we coast down the semi-paved road. It was around 1 o'clock in the morning. We had left very late as to not run into any traffic, as we had loved driving around at night. We did not have that much longer of a drive until we reached our hotel on a remote cliffside, maybe a half hour or so. The peacefulness of driving at night always calmed me and cleared my head, until Lily broke that silence. I heard a faint gasp come through my helmet. Worried, I called back, asking Lily what was wrong. There was no sound from her, only an arm shot up past the left side of my head, startling me. Her finger was outstretched towards something far up the other side of the road. It was a few hundred meters away and blurry with the limited light. It looked like an animal, a large deer or something like that, and I took it as her trying to warn me not to hit it. As we continued down the road, the animal got into better focus. It was no longer looking like a deer. The animal was on all fours and very large and extremely toned. Despite being muscular, it was skinny, like it hadn't eaten for quite a while. It had a long muzzle and head. It was coming out of the thicket of the woods. I revved my engine a bit in hopes to scare whatever it was back off into the woods. It was startled and quickly turned to face us. Its large head showed two glaring yellow eyes staring straight at us. It opened its large mouth, revealing sharp, fang-like teeth, and it let out a deep, shadowing growl. Lily gripped my chest even tighter as we sped down the road towards it. Chills shivering my spine and ears ringing, I could not take my eyes off of it. I revved my engine once more and sped up. As we approached at a quicker pace, not a few hundred feet away, the creature had run back into the woods. I gave a sigh of relief and tapped Lily's arm in reassurance. We continued to drive the windy road, a little bit faster than we were. The ride was quiet and calm again after what had just happened. We both relaxed our muscles, but I couldn't stop picturing what I had just seen. Those yellow eyes burning an image into my memory. We were both still a bit freaked out. I could hear a distant breathing behind me. She must be trying to calm herself down. But the breathing didn't stop. It got heavier. I tapped Lily's arm against my waist to see if she was alright. She pressed tighter up against me and I could feel her chest, heart beating quick and shaking. Her breath was short and light. The heavy breathing got louder and was accompanied by sharp grinding. I took a glance through my side mirrors. There they were, those shiny yellow eyes glaring back at me. The reflection of moonlight shined off its fangs and sharp-pointed claws as they scraped against the asphalt. It was pursuing us. I tensed up. How could this thing be catching us at this speed? The gap between us and the creature was closing. It stopped for a split second and lunged at us. It swiped its right claw across its body, its claw just scraping the edge of the motorcycle, knocking the bike sideways, and adrenaline now rushing through my body, I floored the gas handle in an attempt to get away. The distance between us and the creature increased slightly, but the creature was persistent in its chase. I didn't dare look back in the side mirrors. I couldn't look at those yellow beady eyes. They shot fear and a sense of death into you. I only listened to the creature's heavy breathing to determine the distance between us. I was speeding beyond the limit now, and the road was starting to curve. As I carefully weaved back and forth as to not overturn the motorcycle, I could hear the creature copying my movements, swaying and keeping speed. I was afraid that we were either going to get killed by this creature as it caught up to us, or I was going to kill us driving like this. The trees that were flying past started thinning out, and an opening was ahead. I continued to speed into the now open road and highway. The streetlights had returned and the hotel was in view. Still hearing the creature behind me, I kept my speed soaring towards the hotel. I knew I was going to have to slow down as we neared the entrance. I did the last thing I wanted to do. I looked in my side mirrors to see if the creature was still pursuing us. But it was gone. Those yellow eyes now replaced with white stars. I let off the gas and quickly applied the brake. The bike screeched as it skidded across the pavement and proceeded to crunch and kick rocks everywhere as I entered the stony parking. When it slowed down to a more controllable speed, I parked it. We got off our bike and grabbed our bags. As we started walking, Lily wrapped her arm around mine and walked close next to me. I looked down at her. her face a bit pale and spooked. I'm sure mine did not look any better, and I was glad she was next to me. As we walk up the entrance, the automatic doors gave a deep grunt, the worn gears grinding against each other. The inside was quite old-fashioned. It was a one-level hotel with long hallways, a small lobby from the entrance to a small lounge, everything lit by candlelight. You could see a couch that sat in the center facing a lit fireplace. An information desk was to the right of the entrance, but no one was there. An empty book lay open on the counter for signing in. 2 other signatures were written within the book. We had already paid for our rooms, so we signed in and took the key off the wall and went to our room. It was now around 1:45 in the morning. I sat on the couch staring at the crackling fireplace. Lost in the flames, they reminded me of the yellow in the creature's eyes. A small creak comes from the floorboards and startles me. I jump and turn towards the sound. Standing there was Lily with 2 cups of tea and a sorry expression on her face. I take the tea from her, and she sits down, resting her head on my shoulder, both of us feeling better to have a returned sense of security. She started to doze off, so we returned to our room to get some rest after what had happened, but I had a feeling I was not going to sleep. I was only able to sleep for an hour and a half or so. Each time I'd closed my eyes, I relived what only happened moments ago. I decided to get a drink and tried to relax some. While in a lounge on the side of the wall, pouring myself a cup, a crash came from the room behind the entrance desk. I jumped, dropping my cup, spilling tea everywhere. I didn't think much of it as the hotel owner came out of his room and was walking down the hall, awoken by the noise. I bent down to wipe up the drink and saw the light from the front desk room click on. While picking up the cup and getting more napkins, I heard shelves toppling over and the cracking of bone. I thought something had fallen on him. I quickly darted around the corner only to see the top half of the hotel owner in the middle of the hallway. His eyes were wide and frozen, blood still pouring from his chest as he was cleanly sliced in 2, as if he was dismembered in one smooth slash. I heard slashing and gnawing still coming from inside of the back room. Peering through the doorway, daring not to step a foot in, I see the monster from before digging its teeth into a disembodied leg. Blood dripping from its sharp claws and mouth. It had followed us all the way here. Lily suddenly ran through my mind. I had left her asleep in the room. We needed to get out of here quick, without disturbing the creature. I slowly started to back away from the desk back to my room. I was almost around the corner when the monster had put down the leg it was eating and turned to grab the other one. As soon as it did, our eyes met. I froze. Those yellow eyes that haunted me were staring back once again. I stood still, hoping that the creature would go back to eating, but it didn't. Its face changed as if it had just remembered who I was. It dropped the leg and lunged towards the door. I bolted around the corner and down the hallway towards my room. The creature jumped around the corner only to start chasing me down that hall. As I ran, I passed the door that had just started to open. Another couple walked out of the room, a male yelling what was going on. Before I could yell back to run, the creature jumped in the air straight towards the man, swinging its claw. It ripped across the man's chest, tearing off its right arm. The creature landed on top of him, crushing his ribs. It then turned and lunged at the girl, gripping her neck in its jaw. Horrified, I turned away, still running. I burst through the door of my room, Lily standing in the center, jumping as I did so. I grabbed her by the hand and pulled her out of the room. We had to run back up the hall. It was the only way out. I told her to close her eyes and run as we ran past the room of the other couple. The creature was clawing away at the stomach of the girl. As we were about to turn the corner, Lily trips over her feet and tumbles to the ground, yanking me back. The creature hears us, for it stopped feasting on the girl and was now looking out the room's doorway. I quickly yank Lily up as the creature turns around and starts coming back down the hallway. We ran around the corner, jumping over the information desk counter and crouching down. We hear the creature's heavy footsteps as it continues down the hall. I hear Lily cover her mouth, her eyes widen as she sees the dismembered hotel owner's body. I bring her close to my chest as the creature comes around the corner. Its breath was heavy as it scanned the hallway and room. It turned its head towards our direction and started walking to the counter. Sharp claws rose in the air above our heads. The creature was going to bring a claw down upon us. Suddenly, there was footsteps coming from the other hallway. The creature lowered its arms and turned around. The hotel owner's wife was coming. The creature turned fully around and started walking down the opposite hall towards her. I quickly and quietly got up, keeping Lily at my side. We walked slowly towards the door. As the front door creaked open, we saw the creature lunge at the owner's wife, and we bolted. Her loud scream muffled through the walls until it was abruptly stopped. I ran with Lily to the parking lot. I quickly started the motorcycle, and we sped out of there, kicking up stones as we rode. We got out of the drive and just started back onto the road when we heard its deep, shattering growl echo through the woods. I increased my speed as we drove fast and as far away as possible, not daring to look back. Lily and I no longer drive at night, nor do we ever return to that hotel. We don't know what happened after we left. We have not seen the creature since that night, hoping it went back into the woods. The creature's yellow eyes and claws still haunt my thoughts now and then. Lily wakes up screaming from reliving the event. We were definitely lucky that night. Please, if you are ever out driving late and see those beating yellow eyes or sharp shining claws, turn around right then and there. Because if you don't, it might come right